Hey there, friends. It's Quinn with PTSD while black, taking off the glasses so I can see. Isn't that funny? It's been a while. Haven't made an update in a minute. I had a surgery last month in November. It was really just injections in my neck and in my lower back, steroid injections. It really has helped my lower back pain. Um, I don't notice my pain. It was the pain level was in the past. Um, Rolling over in bed, getting out of bed in the morning was extremely painful before getting the injections. Now I don't even think about it. And so I'm glad it's one less section of pain I have to deal with, except when it rains outside, then I might feel it. Um, or when I exercise, then I'll feel it. I've noticed. But the neck situation's a different story. My neck is worse than it was before I had the injections. Um, for a long time, I had trouble turning my head, and I'm still having the issue of sitting at the computer for a long period of time. After a while, I have to lay down because my head is like too heavy to support itself, is what it feels like. Um, so yeah, it's been a few weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I think it's approaching, yeah, 3 weeks since the surgery. So that's new for me. Um, and it's been challenging because I thought that I could just go right back to my normal activities afterwards. And this was the first time I'd ever had a surgery. So yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, 2 days down and I'll be good. And then it's like, oh, well, there's still certain things that you're limited at doing, like how much time I can work sitting at a computer, and I have to do everything from my phone, and I have to hold my phone a certain way. But it's getting there. The other reason I made the videos, I did have my appointment, a video appointment with a neurologist. I don't know if I made a video about the neurologist that was here locally said that because my EEGs and my brain MRIs are normal, that I would not, he would not couldn't diagnose me. He's like, you need to be put under observation for a longer period of time to find out what kind of episodes you're having, whether they're epileptic seizures or are they just symptoms from migraines. Um, which, by the way, I've had migraines since I was in my 20s, and I never had these fatigue, stuttery moments. It's only been since the concussion that I've had these issues. Um, so I had a video appointment with um, a Northern California doctor and a neurologist, and they were just assessing how's it going. And I'm just kind of laughing because for I looked at my records for the entire month of November, no seizure-like episodes. And I think the only things that I was doing different was I was doing moderate exercising and mostly just in my chair. And I was doing still eating kind of the same. Wasn't any cleaner necessarily, but I was making a point every night to fill my water bottle. This is 64 ounces, so I know that this is the minimum amount of water I need to have a day. And I was much more consistent with my water in November. Then here in December, I had some slips, forgot to drink water, and lo and behold, actually the last since Thursday of last week, I was having trouble sleeping because stress with family members' health and some volunteer work that I've signed up to do. And which is so funny because part of my brain that's injured is the area that deals with language. Um, I ended up having a seizure like episode yesterday after 3 days of poor sleep and trying to organize and coordinate this group for people around the world to come together around this healing process. Um, and they talking to people who speak different languages, my brain's like, ah! So yeah, I was dealing with that and trying to figure out the solutions and dealing with personalities and stuff like that. Um, plus the poor sleep, plus poor hydration. All of those are combinations for, hey, let's create a seizure like episode, whatever it is. I sure as heck had one while I was on the conference call last night when we were brainstorming how to put together an event. Um, because one guy just wanted to keep telling jokes and he was using weird accents but not speaking the languages. And because it's almost English but not quite English, my brain goes, huh? Um, and it's such a sudden interruption. And then the other girl, she's I think she speaks Polish and Russian, and English, and she was talking really, really fast. And so my brain had some challenges keeping up on top of the fatigue, on top of the worry. I had this wonderful mixture of, hey, I've got to go to the bathroom all of a sudden. Um, and oh, by the way, that symptom's still there. When I have to go to the bathroom, I can't think. My brain shuts off. It's like, go pee, come back. So that's a thing that's going on. Anyway, so I had a mini seizure last night. It wasn't a full on, but it did involve my head shaking. And that's one common symptom that's becoming more frequent now than it was in the past is like the head shaking. My body's not shaking, it's just my head. I was crying and confused, and just not feeling quite right. Minutes later, I was fine. I was back to filling out emails and scheduling and handling things. Then I went to sleep and woke up this morning with a stutter, with a headache all over the left side of my head. So that's the usual leave behind that something was going on. The pain goes from the left side of my head all through my neck and into my shoulder. Um, Dizziness, severely dizzy this morning. Um, Poor coordination. Like this lid, putting it on the water bottle, I was having trouble with it. So I'm like, okay, this is just what you do. This is just what's happening. This is just the condition of what my, we'll call it post episodes, look like. And where am I on my, I've been trying to keep track. So this occurred, there's my birth control. So seeing that the seizure occurred before PMS, it's the second week, um, helps me to know what's going on, what hormone shifts are happening. That's the other thing the doctor was curious about, how frequent these episodes are around my period or my menstrual cycle. So I'm just keeping track of it. I'm just going on with it. But what I wanted to talk about, 7 minutes in, but whatever. Um, this morning, at first, I was like, oh, I'm so fatigued. I'm going to stay the victim. I'm just going to stay in bed and not do anything. And then I was like, you know what? Screw this. Kiss my ass. I'm going to get up and do stuff despite whatever the hell's going on with my head. And sure, that was some defiant energy that got me up and got me through, like making flyers for this event and posting announcements. But I noticed the more I read long text, the more my brain was like, the more tired I got. So I'm like, okay, I'm just learning to accept what I can and cannot do with these episodes. Reading and writing is low on my abilities, but um, drawing, drafting, creating, I can do well. And the fact that I'm speaking so well is a good sign. Um, I guess if I'm speaking and not reading and not thinking about directions and locations. Um, yeah, my memory's just jacked. um, oh, but I talked to a friend in a support group that I'm working with, and he was born with a brain injury, and he was talking about one of the ways that he's come to terms with it was having compassion for it, having forgiveness, and thanking it for what it's teaching him. And it was so cool because as I was on the phone with him and I was just thinking about congratulating and celebrating my brain injury, celebrating my seizures for what you're teaching me, celebrating this body for what it's able to do. Yeah, the pain lifted. And even as I'm talking to you right now, the pain is lifting. So it's like, okay, so we'll just stay in celebration. We're having a party here. That's all that's happening is you were just throwing a celebration up in my head. Didn't invite me. But yeah, going on to have a different view with this change in my body and getting to know me as I am versus who I was, what I was able to do yesterday, or what I expected myself to do. All right. Long rant. Talk to you next time. I'm going to sing in Spanish. Okay, bye.